Hello, everyone. I want to talk about the Fed's rate drop. I anticipated a half a point drop. A lot of people, I guess, markets were anticipating a quarter of a point drop, figuring that the slower they do this, the more bullets they have in the chamber to be able to continue to make an effect here. But the problem was, and the reason I think they had to go to half a point is because they were just late to the game again. The first quarter point drop should have come in May of this year. There's been nothing but really negative economic data throughout all of 2024, between unemployment rate continuing to rise month over month, the jobs disappointing consistently and being revised downwardly consistently. So they're way late to the game here. And I think what they're going to end up doing is trying to play a game of catch up here the rest of the year. The other reason I thought it would be a half a point is because their next meeting isn't until November. So you've got, 6 weeks or 8 weeks here in between their meetings. And they never want to do an emergency meeting to drop rates, right? Like they had to do for COVID and they did during the 2008 financial crisis. So they try to avoid that because that puts panic into the market. So half a point made a ton of sense. I know 109 out of 115 economists were only predicting a quarter point, but that just goes to show most of them don't know what the heck they're talking about. I think you're going to find better people, better economists, better economic data out on YouTube and Rumble and other sources than you will find reading any newspaper out there. So keep that in mind when you're looking and you're listening to different people out there, the talking heads, Kramer out there in his market, and they're all just talking heads parroting the same type of things. So let's go over what this is going to do for the markets in general, kind of break through all the markets. Obviously, for me, in the crypto space, in the real estate space, but first and foremost, cryptos, I think it's altcoin season now. So we've seen certain altcoins really go up over the past, call it year and a half. And then other ones do nothing, and a lot of them retreat. Since Bitcoin hit the all-time high, 73,000, we've had a big retracement, probably around 56% on average with a lot of these altcoins, some more, some less. But I think what we're going to have now is we have a nice rebound going on, and now it's what altcoins you're in and which ones move up first, which ones lag behind, when to get into certain coins, when to get out of other coins, how to set your sell points for what your price point you're looking to get, what kind of return you're looking to get on these, dollar cost averaging out, maybe like a dollar cost average in. So we'll get into some different projects, but right now I think what it's going to do effectively is help everything. Bitcoin's up near around 64,000 right now, 62, 63, 64. It's hovering 65. It's got to break through that in order to get past and move ahead and get to its all-time high of 73K and then break through that. So we got some time to go there. I do think, though, we are in September 20th here. I would be surprised if we aren't at or near 100K in Bitcoin by the end of the year, if not for sure the first quarter. Next year, 2025, we will be, in my opinion. That's my bet here. Altcoins are going to rally hugely against it, and they will outperform Bitcoin. So if you have a lot of Bitcoin, you might want to shift some into certain altcoins that, different projects that you like out there. Okay, first, let's go into what asset classes will be affected. Right now, anything to me, risk on assets are all going to do well because the half point drop is going to reduce the short term, the 10-year T-bond for mortgages, which is going to help people refinance or sell, or more buyers enter the market because rates will be lower. So refinance activity will happen and more buyers out there, maybe reducing inventory or maybe just kind of keeping it even keel with what inventory is right now, but we're still below normal average in real estate and inventory. So prices, in my opinion, will continue to increase. If mortgage rates drop enough, wouldn't be surprised to see 6 to 10% increase in real estate next year, 2025, potentially more depending on how much the rates drop. So the stock market will be the next one. And I would anticipate the stock market will continue to go up. It's going to have its period right now down because there's so much uncertainty, especially around the election and everything. Probably trade sideways for a little while, up days, down days, different news comes out, obviously going to be affected. But I think long term, next year, Stock market will continue to rise and do well. Gold and silver will, because basically when you lower rates, you're devaluing the dollar, and that helps things like silver and gold, which hedge against the dollar. What other assets will do well besides crypto, real estate, stocks? I mean, it's most of your risk on assets right there. That should do pretty well. And if you get into the crypto side, even NFTs, you might even start to see them have a little bit of a comeback, because they really have never come back since last cycle. And, they're affected by the meme coins, because the meme coins have become essentially kind of like the NFTs. They took away some of the fun of the NFTs, and they're very popular, and I don't see them going away. If anything, they might gain more popularity. The communities that they have there, people really enjoy the meme coins. The DeFi space, that should continue to grow. It may grow more if we get regulation next year. Might stifle some things, but spur growth in other areas. Because I think there's a lot of coins out there that would do potentially pretty well if there was regulations, and there's other ones, of course, obviously that would be hurt. But Avi's been around for a while here, and that's a big DeFi space. Ethereum has a lot of DeFi on it. Again, most of you guys know I do not like Ethereum. I am not bullish on Ethereum long term. It will probably hit somewhere between 10 and 15,000 this cycle, probably closer to 15. But I don't see this being as popular next cycle even. So it's lost popularity from last cycle to this cycle. Solana is the new game in town, and it's going to continue to lose more and more, because they've never fixed the gas problems, the fees, right? What it costs for you to transfer things on Ethereum, the ERC20 tokens. It's just too expensive. So things like Solana are very inexpensive, and many other crypto platforms out there, very, very inexpensive to do transactions on. So they're going to naturally take away the market. Cardano is still going to become on Polkadot. Avalanche has actually had an issue, and let's take a look at what's going on with Avalanche here. Let's find that article. Here we go. All right. So this is, Avalanche was one of the big, more popular ones out last cycle, along with Solana. Solana really hit towards the end of last cycle, and into this cycle has been the darling. But Avalanche was too. But, Avalanche activity has dropped 70%. So I'm not as bullish on it as I once was, but there's things they could do, obviously, to improve and change that. But for now, that's something to keep an eye on, because right now it's affecting it. And I think it's somewhere around $26 per coin on Avalanche right now. But I would stick with Solana. Solana's got so much more activity. It's got all the meme coins being built on it. It's just got a lot more activity, a lot more developer activity on it at this point. Let's see what else here. Obviously, the presidency, if Trump wins, it's going to continue to help cryptos more than if Kamala wins. He's much more crypto friendly than she is. She'll go along with the status quo. Okay. Now let's go to Cointelegraph, see what we got going on here. So Bitcoin outperformed nearly every asset class last year. It's no surprise in those years when Bitcoin really goes up, it goes up extraordinarily well, and it's outperformed every asset really since 2009, pretty much every single year. So really no big surprise there, and that should continue. And I do think it will hit near 100,000 by the end of the year. Gold and silver, by the way, I do think, they had an initial burst. It went before the 0.5 point raise and then came back down. I'm definitely bullish on gold and silver longer term. I own some, not buying anymore, because that's not going to go up anywhere near what these altcoins are going to be going up. We have an altcoin season here, which I think is going to be going through most of 2025. And that's a normal cycle. And I think it's going to be, you're going to have your ups and downs, just like last cycle, right? We had the ups, the downs, the two tops. We could have two tops. We could have three tops. But also, this could be a cycle where it changes, where things don't pull back as much. Things meaning Bitcoin, the big guys, the big players, the big altcoins, they might have more of a 50% pullback as compared to their 70 to 80% pullback. Altcoins a lot of times have a 90% pullback. This time there might only be in a 70, 60, 70% pullback, and it become less and less pullbacks in those as it becomes more and more mainstream. And I do think one thing that could have big effects next year, if we do get some clarity in regulations, and once banks can custody cryptos, and I know that's in the works right now, a lot of them are trying to have this happen. Wells Fargo, I think, Bank of America, among others. Once that happens, that's going to make it so much easier for people to buy and hold and sell and trade cryptos. That's been a big bugaboo really for people since cryptos came out, because it's not easy having your own cold storage wallet, and people are lazy and they don't want to protect their keys and do things the right way. It's just human nature, right? So the easier it is, the more natural it becomes. And that's also going to take away a lot of the volatility in the market, good and bad, right? Volatility to the downside, nobody wants, but volatility to the upside is what we're looking for. And that's what we really want in this crypto space. Let's look at the cryptos that have done well here. So if you look at the day here, SUI, and I'm really bullish on SUI. I have SUI, Aptos too. The ones that have done pretty well, Solana, ETH a little bit, Hex. I'm not big on Hex. SEI has been doing really well. That's over the day. If you look at the week, SUI's up 45 point, almost 46%, Hex 44%. Then you go to the Anantia, Tau. There's a few that have done well, even Avalanche, Phantom, which I'm very bullish on too, long term. And then you go to the month, SUI's up 71.7%. Got one up 113% here, which is amazing too. Again, the AI, artificial intelligence, right here, 77.1. Hex even up 65.1. Render, which I really like long term, up 14%. And then you get meme coins, right? They're always going to do well. Beam's done well. And there's plenty that are down now. Look at these ones that are down. These are the ones like Polygon, right? Polygon's a good long-term project, in my opinion. HBAR, Polkadot. There's some that have not come up yet. TON, that's been affected, obviously, by the owner being jailed there. I love TON. I'm really bullish on it long-term. It's one I definitely like a bit. I haven't looked enough into TIA yet, but it's done extremely well. Aptos, another really good one. Like I said, even AVAX is up. Even on that, I expect on that bad news, that's going to continue to decline a little bit more. We will see here. Rune, another good one. Gala, gaming one. It's one of the top gaming ones. Should do well. Link usually leads the cycles. It's up almost 10% over the past month, which is pretty darn good. Let's look over the past year. Again, you're going to have a lot of meme coin stuff. Look at Solana, though, 626%. And being meme coins, up 9,000%. Floki, 747%. So it's being in the right one, 5,862. It's being in the right one at the right time. I don't play in that game so much, but it's something I probably should. Near, which is a really good one. I'm bullish on long term. Has done well. Theta, I like that one long term. Phantom, as we already said, and TON has been like a stable coin most of the year until the owner got jailed. But if you look at it over year, these have all done really, really well. Render's up 223%. So we are obviously in a bull market, and that's going to continue to grow. Go by the hour, though, things are starting to bounce back. A lot of this was red not too long ago, so things are bouncing back a little bit. Always good idea to keep your eye on crypto bubbles and see how things go. All right, now let's look at pricing. Again, Ethereum's up a bit. Ethereum's been on a nice little run here over the past, I'd say, week or so. It's been a nice little run. It's been on here. Let's see if that continues. I imagine it will. It should. It's the second biggest it's the biggest altcoin, second biggest altcoin out there, behind Bitcoin. Nowhere near it in its market cap. Like I said, I think Solana will pass it. By next cycle, Solana will definitely take over Ethereum. We'll pass it. There's no doubt in my mind. It's just going to continue to grow. We'll stay beyond that. I think there's going to be a lot of other competitors out there that are going to hurt its market, but it will still be a major player. XRP, I expect, look, if you're looking for decent returns, I wouldn't be surprised to watch XRP to get $8, $10, potentially more this cycle. That's a really great return. You're looking on it there. There's other ones going to far outperform it, right? Cardano should have should have $3, $4, $5 this cycle. So again, some big returns on some of these, and these are big. These are your top 12 companies, and even Avalanche at 13. Avalanche will still go up, even though it's down. It'll run with all the altcoins, but it's something I would be less into. I don't have much Avalanche. As a matter of fact, I think I sold most of my Avalanche. So that is one I don't have a whole lot of anymore. I do have the Fetch AI, and I will continue to buy AI, and I will continue to buy SUI. That's continued to go up. Internet computer. That's another good one. Aptos. Like your meme coins, get peppy. What else is looking good? Objective Protocol is another one. Seller Tug with that has been impressive. So there's obviously a lot of good tokens out here. Let's see what else we find out here. All right. Why is Solana's price up today? Well, Solana's price has been up a lot over the past year. So today, as compared to any other day, shouldn't be a big surprise. Solana should hit its high of somewhere between 750 and 1,000, I think, this cycle. Pretty good from where it is, right? It's not a massive return, but it's still like I'm decently invested in Solana, and I've added more this cycle. It's one I do like long term, as you know, and it would be a good one to be in. But it's going to break out and be over 200 by the end of the year, in my opinion. It's just a good project with a lot of developers on it. We're see if we got anything else interesting here. Bitcoin nears 64K. Yeah. Bank of Japan paused its rate hikes. They caused a market meltdown in July. We probably gave them a hard time about that, us being the U.S. So they don't want to cause any, they don't want to rock the boat anymore. That did cause some real chaos in our markets, and they probably don't want to do it near our election time and hurt anything there. So that's not a surprise. But that's going to help other risk on assets, right? All the risk on assets should continue to do well. The stock market may have its ups and downs, like I said, as data comes in, because the economy is being hit. We are headed towards a recession, and probably in the next 3 to 6 months here would be my guess. But as long as they keep rates down and keep them getting closer to zero like they had before, I think we'll avoid any kind of major catastrophe. You'll just have that dollar devaluation, and you'll have continued inflation coming in here. Fed's going to try to balance itself between inflation, deflation. We're not going to hit deflation. We should just have inflation, unfortunately. And I think that's about it. That's about all I wanted to hit on here today. So the 0.5% rate hike or rate drop should help spur a really nice bull market here in cryptos. It's going to affect all risk on assets. So for people in the stock market, there's no need to panic and pull out. Even when you have pullbacks, 10, 50%, like we had in July during the whole Japanese increasing our rates, causing our market to crash a bit here. I don't think we'll run into too much of that, but that could happen. But it'll still rebound and it'll come right back. We're in a managed economy at this point here. Federal Reserve is trying to manage it and just be in the right assets. Right now, the time is to be into cryptos. And I love real estate, but that time is not really for real estate unless you're developing stuff, unless you're doing flips, right? And that is something I do. So I need to continue doing those. But as the market heats up in cryptos and that starts to overheat, I need to be selling out of cryptos and putting it back into real estate and other assets, stock market potentially. And we'll see what else looks good at that point. But you're always going to be kind of shuffling stuff around. So have that mindset. We're in a lot of chaotic times. 2 assassination attempts against Donald Trump. So we're in total chaotic times. Chaos is going to cause chaos in the markets. It's going to cause chaos in life. And, unfortunately, things are more expensive now than they were 4, 5, 6 years ago. And, despite the fact that inflation is cooled, I think we're going to hit more inflation later on next year, and we're all going to feel that. But get into the right assets so you have some money to fight against inflation. All right, guys.